When a civilization's central sacred site collapses, the resulting silence is active. The vacuum it leaves is volatile. The Roman destruction of the Jerusalem temple in 70 CE shattered the specific physical link between the divine and the people of Israel. The geographical center of the covenant vanished. This loss triggered a massive geographic dislocation. The scattering of the population severed the daily liturgical rites that had anchored their communal identity for centuries. Ruins possess a unique power. While they are physical markers of destruction, they simultaneously force the mind to envision the structure that used to stand there. These surviving traces demand a response. They drive communities to develop new practices aimed at navigating the distance between historical reality and current emptiness. Historical absence is a powerful driver of change. We can see this in how traditions develop ways to make a lost past feel present again, even after the physical site is gone. The writer W.G. Sebald studied how specific landscapes and material objects can hold the weight of historical trauma long after an event has passed. Sebald observed that the past often lingers in an uncanny form, becoming a ghost-like presence that is literally written into the surviving bricks and mortar. This provides a framework for the temple's loss. It allows us to ask how different religious movements reconstruct a sense of the sacred out of a visible void. To find the answer, we will evaluate 3 distinct architectures of memory. Each represents a structural solution to the problem of the temple's destruction. Our analysis covers 3 specific models: the Wailing Wall, the synagogue, and Christian sacraments. Comparing these models reveals the different mechanisms traditions use to process loss, and the specific types of spectral reality those mechanisms create. The Wailing Wall serves as the primary physical remnant of the temple complex. It is a stubborn survivor of the Roman siege. These massive stones function as a material witness. They hold the literal, historical record of the destruction, keeping the memory of the void at the center of the city. Specific physical rituals activate the site. Believers touch the masonry, offer lamentations, and wedge written prayers into the gaps between the blocks. These physical interactions turn a static ruin into a dynamic space. The rituals use the stone as an anchor to pull the memory of the temple into the present day. This creates a feeling of anthropological melancholia. It is a haunting echo of the temple's original services and the imagined glory of the divine indwelling. This presence is fragmented. It stands in sharp contrast to the original functioning sanctuary, reflecting a sense of loss for a specific mode of worship that cannot be fully recreated. The Wailing Wall addresses absence through material indexicality. It uses the physical weight of history to create a monument to a center that has been superseded. Diasporic synagogues emerged as a deliberate response to dispersion, functioning as decentralized social nodes rather than physical ruins. The mechanism here is functional. The synagogue takes over the non-sacrificial roles of the temple to ensure the covenant continues in every town where the people settled. This network is sustained through communal assembly, prayer, and the continuous reading and interpretation of the Torah. In this model, liturgy performs the work of memory. Prayers for the restoration of Jerusalem keep the absent center alive in the collective consciousness of the local community. This distributed system lacks a single geographically unique sanctuary. It replaces the singular dwelling of God with a flexible network of sacred practice. This structure prioritizes the resilience of the community. It focuses on maintaining the covenant through action rather than through a connection to one specific piece of land. Synagogues solve the problem of absence through distributed function. They trade the uniqueness of a central temple for a living, mobile network of performed memory. Christianity introduced a different paradigm. The theology claims that the physical temple is replaced by the person of Jesus Christ. This creates a secondary absence. After the ascension, the embodied Lord is no longer physically present on earth, leaving the community to manage his departure. The ritual of Holy Communion became the primary way of materializing this absence. It uses physical elements to signify a body that is gone. The command to remember gives the bread and wine significant theological weight. These elements act as material traces that connect the participants to a reality they cannot see. Like the synagogue, the local church acts as a distributed center. In this view, the gathered assembly itself becomes the spiritual temple, the body of Christ. This creates an eschatological presence. It is a way of living in the tension between the current spiritual connection and the expectation of a future return. Christianity addresses absence through symbolic ritual. It bridges the void with a hope-oriented sacramental life, focusing on a living person rather than a lost building. This matrix clarifies how frameworks alter memory. Anchors vary from physical masonry to a distributed network to symbolic elements. Mechanisms range from tactile lamentation to communal study to shared sacraments. Ultimately, these differences result in three distinct experiences: anthropological melancholia, communal continuity, and eschatological hope. The same historical event, the loss of the sacred center, produced these divergent solutions. The path each tradition took was determined by how they chose to define presence. These models show that communities will not allow a sacred void to stay empty for long. While a reconstructed presence cannot perfectly replicate what was lost, it develops its own complex and vital life within the tradition. Whether it is held by stone, liturgy, or bread, the weight of memory continues to shape identity across generations. The destruction of the sanctuary served as a distinct catalyst. It forced an evolution in how humans experience the divine. These memory architectures allow people to find connection even when the world around them feels fractured. Within these systems, absence is an engine. It is the force that generates enduring meaning for the community.